I'm probably going to do this maybe once a week or maybe like as often as I can, or maybe even more often before like Valton comes out, because some of you are worried that if you guys are ready for Valton or not, right? This is the amount that I got, and I'm gonna review this right now. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Lead specialization. Nice. So 1390 lead specialization. So you are playing a robust spirit soul fist, right? Now problem is robust spirit soul fist goes crit spec, but you went swiftness specialization. So I'm assuming you're gonna have a precision dagger to cover up that missing crit rate. So you have the missing crit rate here, which is 20%. And you have Grudge, Curse Stall for like flat damage, and then you have Robust level 3. So this is very good. All you need to do is just level up your gear set to 14, 15, and you're definitely ready for Valton for sure. Later on, when you start getting relics, just swap these accessories. Like if you happen to get a good relic accessory from Valton, right? I think it would be good to just swap these. Like let's say you get the exact same engraving and then you just add it in. Don't try to increase your threes though. What you need to aim for is what this is the same thing for most people. Is legendary accessories have way less combat stats. For Robust Spirit Soulfist, it is better to have as high as specialization as you can, because what happens is if the higher specialization you have, you recover fast from recoveration mode for hype mode. I think you have a decent build, but I would go for crit spec on swapping the accessories out naturally. You don't need to like buy them or anything. You just swap it out, and then it will be a solid 3-4 with a higher combat stat. That would be your next step. A Battle Master, Wardancer. Yeah, people might think you're well correct, because it is very tough to get 3-3-3-3-1. I'm assuming you have 2 legendary engraving books, because this is very hard to get it. Yeah. Oh yes. Yep. The issue is you're not gonna get the full efficiency from Keen Blunt Weapon because your crit is too low. You have only 30 crit. You probably have the Wind's Whisper crit. You probably don't have you gotta have the tripods that increases your crit rate. You need to have the cooldown gem for the roar as well. So you need to focus on crit more. So I think instead of specialization, maybe putting on crit is better. Might be. You're not efficiently using this Keen Blunt Weapon. But either way, you are totally fine for Valton Hard. You don't need to change anything. You're rotating 2 esoteric skills. That's why you put on spec. But usually, yeah. So the Argo set also has it. But later on, you will need to swap when you get into like a relic accessory. Just keep this into 1. Put Adrenaline to 2. So it would be like 2 and then esoteric 1. And then you would add a Cursed Doll in there, maybe, to just increase flat damage of 60% more. So the more important gems you need is the Wind's Whisper, and you need the Roar of Rage gem. Grudge Keen Blunt Weapon too. This is pretty good. You can just make any character and then build more high level characters later. Ignition gives you should have level 3 Ignition and level 3 all out attack probably. What's if everyone with legendary engraving books? F2P only. Wow. You got this in F2P? Maybe you took advantage of a lot of the stuff. So to go over this again. So Igniter, if you have an Igniter legendary engraving, I would honestly make more Sorks as an ult, because having these 2 engravings, you're basically a similar Korean user have 2 of these legendary engraving like this. They have multiple sorceresses, or they have multiple same characters, so that they can make the gold back. Or unless if you don't actually care about, making the gold back, if you're just enjoying by just paying and then you enjoy the content on the front line, that's fine too, actually. If that is the case, you are in a good spot to do a good Ignition Sorceress, because you at the later point on, you're just going to add 1 more. Since you put Swiftness, right, and then you put Swiftness into to back up your crit, it'll be Precision Daggers, which is 20% plus 25%. That's already 45%. And then later on, when you have different builds, I think you should still put more on crit stat. The reason why I think this way, even if you go Precision Dagger, you have 25% and then you have 20%, but I still think you're missing. But right now, Swiftness is fine because you lack a lot of movement speed. You'll be way too slow, right? So I think that's fine. So if you guys are like a swiper, like Ish or whatever, right? Instead of using this, the same gold, I would just have multiple of the same eye level characters. Because I think you can do that. Legendary Engraving has a bad value if you only have a couple of characters. 4/3s is good enough for until like Be a Kiss Hard. Engraving difference is like, 16 to 18% damage difference, right? Will you spend like hundreds of thousands of gold, hundreds of Ks of thousands of gold at 18% damage increase? To me, I don't think so. I'd rather spend that money to make another character and make more gold and slowly progress through the game. And because if you have the more higher level characters you have, even if you don't play them, by running Chaos Dungeon plus doing low pangs and stuff, it adds up. It adds up every day. And as for gems are good. So you got the good gems and stuff. So you have the explosion. So these three, as for people who are playing Sorceress, these three are the most important skills: Doomsday, Explosion, and Punishing Strike. You gotta get the damage gems on these three skills and the cooldown gems on these three skills as well. I honestly think if you're playing more, you should straight up go to 1445 and then try to find a static group and try hard straight up instead of going normal. 1392. Disrespect. Okay, that's fine. I like how you put Remaining Energy 3, Supercharge, so you got the basics down. Adrenaline could be questionable, but I think I like Adrenaline a little bit because you're lacking combat stats. So you thought of, I'm lacking a lot of crit, so I'm going to put Adrenaline instead of Master of Ambush. You can put Master of Ambush as well, but the fact that you're going to be lacking crit due to the legendary accessories and purple accessories have limited combat stats, make sure that full stack is up before you use your surge, because crit and non-crit, it makes a big difference. So these are good. You have the Soul Absorber, Earth Cleaver is just on cooldown, great. Moonlight Sonic, both of them. You have Maelstrom on cooldown, great. You got to work on this too. Maelstrom, make sure it's the highest. The faster your Maelstrom comes on cooldown, the better. You should have damage on Surge. I'm pretty sure you do. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 4. Okay, you might not have Surge. You need the Surge gem. Surge gem on damage. Card sets are totally fine. The reason why I don't comment on the card set is because it is not as important until later. You took 2 different cat costumes on purpose? Oh. Crit, Specialization, Swiftness. I think you have way too much Swiftness. But that's fine because Sorceress, you can just play anything. So here, Grudge, Igniter, All Out Attack, Adrenaline. That's good. That's very good. This is a solid build for engraving. But for this particular engraving, I would not have Reverse Gravity. I would have, remember those 3 skills, right? Doomsday, Explosion, and Punishing Strike. Those 3. Focus on those 3 first. I think your spec's a little bit lacking, but that's fine. I would, if you can, don't buy accessories, right? So the build so far, don't spend on anything. You guys are totally fine. If I say you guys need to spend on this, I will literally say it. But right now, looking at these builds, you don't need to spend a dime on accessories. Just get the item level there and just challenge Valton. If you die on Valton, if you don't do enough damage, I hate to say this, but it's your mechanical skills. Your builds are totally fine. It can't get any better than this in terms of the build. It won't be a significant increase. The only thing you guys are not showing me is the tripods. Make sure your tripods are good, okay? So this is good too. Just work on your gems slowly. Don't buy gems. Just work on your gems slowly. If you ever get to have a swiftness, let's say this ring is swiftness, right? And if you have the same engravement, but you found a crit ring, I would actually get that, or a spec ring. Let's see. 107 with the kitty costume, Sorceress. Now this looks like a real build because the other guys look like big whales, man. Reflux, Precision Dagger, Adrenaline, that's good. Okay, so crit is fine and swiftness is fine. I think you have too much crit. Precision Dagger, so either one of the thing. Tone down the crit into swiftness, or remove Precision Dagger and turn it to Keen Blood. So what you're playing here is the reflux casting sorceress. This is totally fine, guys. Your adrenaline stack needs to keep up. So in order for your adrenaline stack needs to keep up, you have to spam your skills, right? If you're slow, you won't be able to spam your skills. So also remember at the same time, remember what I said about you can blink in place to keep the stack up, right? So practice using your blinks to keep your adrenaline stacks up. That's very important. This is why a better sorceresses who utilize the reflux, they blink often. And they don't blink often just to dodge stuff. They blink to keep their adrenaline stacks up. Esoteric Reaction, remove this. Remove this gem into Doomsday, Explosion, and Punishing Strike. Those 3 skills does the most damage in the early game. And you have to utilize that, and you keep using that until the very end. I'm not telling you to change this, okay? Basically, I think you need all-out attack. Oh, you're missing all-out attack. Oh, shit. You need all-out attack. I'm sorry. You gotta change one of these to all-out attack, because early sorceresses need all-out attack, even if you're reflux or not. So reflux instant cast doesn't work until 1445 with a proper tripod. So this is called a nightmare set. What nightmare set does is when your mana is burnt out, you will do 40%. You'll have 40% more cooldowns. That's how you do reflux instant cast. 1 Doomsday is equal to 4 of your skills. So if you do 4 of your skills without not using your main DPS skills, unless you use it 4 more times, it's not going to add up. Instant cast sorceress only happens if you have 2 conditions. You do the mana burn condition, and you have the tripods for it. So look at this. This is why reflux instant cast is expensive. This is covered in my video as well. This particular skill has this tripod. What this tripod does is increases your total mana from the whole pool as in a percentage. So you use this, and this particular skill has a cooldown tripod, right? This has a cooldown tripod, and this one has a cooldown tripod, right? And this one also has a cooldown tripod, and the mana shield burns more mana. So why is this important? And these are ones that turns into an instant cast instead of actual casting. Convert your Punishing Strike into instant cast. So this is the nightmare set. What the nightmare set does is at level 1, at level 2 is different. Level 1, if your mana is burnt out, unless the mana is recovered to 100%, you will have 35% cooldown on top of what you have. If you reach 100% mana, you lose that cooldown, by the way. And in this particular build, if you have the 2 set, you use 50% less mana and do flat 12% more damage. For example, if your cooldown is at max tripod, which it decreases more on the skills, right? This comes to like 8 seconds, right? If it's at level 5, it's 8 seconds. So Ice Arrow is what? It's 22 seconds. 22 seconds minus 8 minus the swiftness on the cooldown minus the nightmare set cooldown, this thing becomes like 4 or 5 seconds. Every single skill is less than 5 seconds on a reflux instant cast. Therefore, since it's impossible for you to make that build, it doesn't make sense for you to try it out until you get the relic gear. That's why you go for the strongest sorceress build early game, which is the casting build. Oh, but casting build only uses ignition. It can't use reflux. You gotta think about it this way. So the sorceress players have the biggest problem here, is because sorceress is a newer class. She can branch off to many things because she's very strong. If you read reflux engraving, what does it do? What reflux engraving does is it gives you 16% more damage on skills and decrease on 10% on cooldown. What does that mean? It just flat increases your damage by 16% and it cooldown by 10%. It has nothing else. So you can use this as a regular engraving like Cursed Doll. It's a Cursed Doll with 10% cooldown. It doesn't mean you have to go instant reflux sorceress casting. Does that make sense? Like your class engraving doesn't determine what you play. You can use this to increase your damage. You can go ignition to increase your damage. You go ignition to have 25% crit rate plus 50% more crit damage. So never think as class engraving as a selection of your build. You can use reflux and have a faster cooldown on any of the casting skills, which is your main skills. which is Explosion, Punishing Strike, and Doomsday. These 3 are your main DPS skills. These are very strong. These are very strong compared to any of the other skills by raw damage. But again, don't spend too much. What I suggest is you can still play this and beat Valten, surprisingly. But if you find yourself too slow, if it doesn't cost you too much, I would rather swap one of the... If you swap Precise Dagger into All Out Attack, you will be playing a decent casting Sorceress without being too animation locked, and all your Doomsday is going to crit most of the time, all your Explosion is going to crit most of the time, all your Punishing Strike is going to crit most of the time. And I'm pretty sure if an equivalent build is in your party, you'll probably take MVP most of the time, because it is important for you to utilize those 3 skills. So this particular build review took longer. It's because you guys were confused about how Reflux Sorceress work and Ignition Sorceress work and etc. Don't put like walls in between them. Think of the engraving as like icing on the cake and like the strawberries on the cake and stuff. Berserker technique. This is a solid build. I might change the Ambush Master to something else. There's a difference between a Berserker's technique and a Mayhem technique. Berserker's technique is much more tankier than the Mayhem Berserker. Spirit of Absorption level 2 is good as well. I think I understand why you got this, because you have a lack of swiftness, right? If you're like, oh, I'm kind of slow, etc., so I'm gonna put a Spirit of Absorption. That's a good thought. That's a good thought. But Berserker, if you go Berserker's technique, you're quite tanky because you have all the HP. The reason why Berserker's technique is more tanky is because if you go Mayhem Berserker, you lose 75% of your HP. Your HP is capped at 25%. I think the vitality factor of Mayhem Berserker is about less than. It's just above like gunners and stuff, like gunslingers and stuff. I don't know the exact amount, but it's in a lower spectrum. Berserker's technique, they're more tankier. So you can actually take Grudge. So Ambush Master, think about it this way. Ambush Master gives you 25% more damage, right? That's cool, like 25% more damage, but you have to land your back attack. If you find yourself not landing your back attack, this engraving is 0% damage increase. So for someone who can take hits, which is a Berserker, because they're tankier, I'd rather put Grudge on it. But if Grudge is too expensive, that's okay. You can just keep this build and challenge Valten. That's totally fine, because Valten is a slower Legion Raid boss. You can back attack most of the time. Guys, Berserker technique is not a bad build. Also make sure if you have your gems, you didn't link your gems. Make sure the Berserker techniques you have the gems for it, because Berserker's techniques almost one of the most main DPS skill is his Z skill, because you have high spec. Your Z skill scales with your spec, okay? So you have to spam your Z a lot. All right, next person, Paladin. Okay, spec, swiftness, great. Awakening, Vital Point, Blessed Aura, Expert. You are definitely ready for Valten. The reason why I think you're fine is this is good enough to like Via Kiss hard. Supports only need 3 3s, and a 4-3 is you're like pushing it. And the fact that you have a Vital Point, this is even better, because in Valten, when you at the first gate, this Lugaru guy, the Warwick guy, he does a stagger mechanic, and more stagger you have, the higher chance you guys will succeed. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people, when you guys are challenging Valten, you will fail this mechanic for sure until you guys actually practice a little bit. And since you already have the Vital Point, you are going to be a very good member in the raid for sure. You're going to be a very good member in the raid. You built yourself, you built it properly. You have enough swiftness, more the better. So when you get the relic accessories, my opinion is, even if you're going to drop this Vital Point down a little bit, even to like level 2, more swiftness the better. If you guys play Paladin, just keep this in your mind, as much swiftness as you can, because his cooldowns are super long, and faster it is, you can keep his buff up. You need the Paladin's buff up 100% of the time to make him like super good. And as you notice, your cooldowns are like super long, right? So here, as this as well, make sure your cooldown gems are all on the important stuff. For example, having all level 5 is good, but make sure your Heavenly Blessings and Wrath of God is in your priority list for higher level gems, like level 7, level 8. But level 7 should be good enough for a long time. Because even I go to Broshaza hard. Some of the paladins have level 7 gems. Because they have so much swiftness to a point that they can keep rotating those 2 skills. Because you use Heavenly Blessing, 7 seconds buff, right? And then you use Wrath of God, another 7 seconds buff. If one of these 2 skills are 14 seconds, you can rotate it 100% of the time. Solar set enjoyer, okay. So you guys will be solar or lunar set, doesn't really matter. You guys will switch it to the relic gears anyway, so don't worry too much. Crit 1368, 471, great. But if you're level 3, okay, good. So this build is solid. You're ready. You know what you can also build is you can build a sorceress with this. Or you can build a Hawkeye as well, a Sharpshooter. So you can work on your gems to be all level 6. That's good too. Focus shot, perfect shot at damage, shotgun fire. So this is more of a preference. I have my shotgun rapid fire as my cooldown gem. It seems like you have it as quick step. It's a preference thing. I have it as a shotgun rapid fire because I have more swiftness. But since you have less swiftness, it's good to have it as quick step. Now, what you need to work on is probably the tripods for all these skills. Make sure you focus on the rifle skills first, because there's 6 tripods. Or you can work on the rifle skills. Maybe remove 1 for perfect shot and put on quick step. There's a quick step skill where it steals the movement speed and then increases your movement speed and attack speed. You can use that one. Now, I know what your problem is going to be. If you play Valton, you're going to die a lot because Grudge and Cursed All Gunslinger is actually harder than you think. If you get hit by Valton once, I'm pretty sure you're going to lose maybe like 70% of your HP. You should be prepared and make sure to practice your character a lot before you challenge Valton. We have a Cal Deathblade. 1400. Crit 469. Specialization 1460. Very good. I don't even know how you guys get it this high with legendary accessories only. That's crazy. Don't try to get another level 3. Just stick with a level 1 of anything you want, but have a solid combat stat. If you don't have a solid combat stats, your character is going to be very clunky. You have Supercharge, Ambush Master, and Remaining Energy. Great, this is good. You don't have Grudge instead, so that's also fine. But make sure you keep land your back attacks. So what's this level 7 Spin Cutter? So you don't need, make sure one of these is Maelstrom. Just save your, well, if you're scared about silver, do it slowly. It seems like you try to fuse the level 6 gem and then you failed to get a damage gem. It's very unfortunate for you. Don't try to push for a level 7. 2 level 7 is almost the same as having all as level 5s. A full level 5 is very good. And I like your Lost Wind Cliff set on extra 7% crit rate. It's good for Deathblade. Yeah, this is good. Just get your level 2 14, 15 and you're totally good for Belton. Okay, so you are Red Warlord, Red Gunlancer, nice. So, I already see a problem here. Swiftness crit, this is fine. You have level 1 Cursed Doll. This is better than not having it. Your gem's pretty solid. Your gem is solid, actually. I would change the Fire Bullet to something else, though. Maybe like Counter Upper. I really like the fact that you got Bash, Shadow of Hatred, and Luscious Energy as a cooldown gem. It's like the fact that people don't know how important it is to get the cooldown gems for these 3 skills. These 3 skills is literally the most important thing ever. Your Bash and increase your damage, and also a party synergy skill. Shadow Hatred, no need an explanation there. Luscious Energy doesn't need an explanation there. It's just the faster you rotate those skills, better for your party. Now, on the next step is I would just remove this Cursed Doll and go for a solid 3-3-3-1 combat. Or you can even remove combat readiness and put Cursed Doll to 4, 3-3-3-3 like that. There's another method where you could do is you can actually go for more swiftness and go Adrenaline instead. Adrenaline 3 and then 3-3-3-3. The reason why is if you have an Adrenaline, you'll be 15% more crit, right? So you can remove 15% equivalent of a crit, which is around 400 crit combat stat to swiftness. Your tripods are good too. It seems like you worked on your tripod great. So this is like a good library that you guys should aim for. Like you swap like, let's say you get a hat with a decent tripod, but you're already using that hat. You put it on the other library, and then if you find like a shoulder, oh wait, I can move this into the shoulder, and then I can use the hat for a better one. So as long as you keep on doing your dailies and keep track of like the tripods of what you want, it's so much easier, and it saves so much money that you just need to move it around. So if you get a hat, if you get a hat on another one, you move it back and forth. It's like, oh, I can put it on I can put it at the top, and I got a new hat that gives more tripods, so I'm gonna put it that way. You can even do it in a backup too. So whoever does that really well, you save a lot of money. If you don't want to spend any money, you want to focus on leveling your item level, you can do that. But this is totally fine. You can, but this curse doll is kind of, it's like a sore thumb, but you know, it's okay. 1434 striker. Crit, spec, and swiftness. This is the esoteric striker, right? Ooh. So someone asked about attack power reduction. Attack power reduction decreases by 2%. It's 2% every time. So it is a shitty thing, but I would try to remove it as much as you can. Esoteric Fury, it doesn't need to be 3 all the time, but it can be 3 if you want. But you can put it as 1 and maybe put another damage engraving. It works. You can actually do that. And since instead they go high swiftness, you can even go increase mass, actually. Don't try to go level 3 Esoteric Fury, but it seems like you have a legendary Esoteric Flurry red. So you have to go 3 Esoteric Fury, okay. Then I would try to go for the solid 3-3-3-3. This is solid. Yep. I think this is solid. But seriously, don't fight. I don't want people to be disrespectful to each other. You can be disrespectful to me a little bit. Guys, we're just here to talk about video games and have fun, man. I don't want people to fight. So let's go to the next guy. So crit, spec, and swiftness is ignition. Yep, ignition. Curse stall legendary. That's not bad. I think you have a very solid build. And I like the drops of ether too. You kind of like put it in there because you don't have nothing in there, right? I'm pretty sure you have a drops of ether because you were buying a 3-3 accessory, and both of them had 3-3. So you just like, oh, maybe I'll just have a drop of ether, and now I'll just have it. These type of play is actually totally fine because you're utilizing your gold as much as you can. But let's look at the tripods and well, let's look at the skills. And also, yeah, just make sure, guys, make sure to work on your tripods. Your tripods are so important. If you have level 1 tripods of everything, it's at least like 10-20% damage decrease. Level 7 gem, is that Doomsday? Oh, it's not. Sag, what gem is this? Hold on a second. It's Rhyme Arrow. Oh. Yeah, so this is good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 skills. That's fine. Some sorcerers go 5 damage gems. That's fine too. Get your other gems to level 5, and you're solid. Your cards are good. Defense, more defense. This is actually good. You are scared to not die. That's a very good style of play to have. If some Koreans say like, you know, you have to go all damage, you have to go grudge. Why you not go grudge, etc. Whatever. They're not considering newbies, right? You guys are newbies. You don't know any of the mechanics for Valton, etc. whatever. Not dying is actually way better than doing more damage. The longer you fight, you will be better at the game. I like this too. Nice. You've been doing the collectibles. Your esoteric reaction isn't as big damage. So you have, okay, so you have Punishing Strike, Frost Call. I would rather have Seraphic Hell instead of esoteric reaction, because esoteric reactions damage increases if you have a Light of Salvation, because this is based on elemental damage. Swiftness Scrapper, you probably need Adrenaline here. Yep, Adrenaline level 1, good. But I think you still lack a little bit on crit though. I would put a little bit more on crit. This is too much swiftness for lack of crit. Because you notice when I was building my Scrapper, I put so much on crit, right? Because Scrapper, you gotta crit a lot. So that, and you, but still, I think you're really good. So okay, good Charging Blow, but you don't need Charging Blow damage stone. Yeah, I think you have too much damage gems. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you have 7 damage gems. You don't need 7 damage gems. You can only have it can probably have 6. He is, yeah, you are totally ready to go. You should get MVP if you go like 1445 if you actually play really well, because this is a very strong build. Okay, so let's go over the Sorceress. Crit 1383. This is pretty good. I like that. I like that how you went to crit, but I think you're reflux casting sorcerer, so you're probably going to have all out attack. Nope. I suggest you guys to read the Sorceress look at the Sorceress video again. If you guys are serious about Sorceress and about reflux instant cat, my Sorceress video, he has 3 sorceresses. He knows everything about it. And the reason why it says it is better for you to spend the money to do the casting sorceress first and make the money and swap after. That's cheaper from starting from scratch, because you have to run the dungeons. You are totally fine. You can beat Valton with this. You have no problem, because Sorceress is just strong. I don't want you guys to use money and swap something I'm telling you to, and then you guys don't see a huge improvement. But it is an improvement. That's what I wanted to say. If you guys like, oh, I already got this, right? I already got this going. Just try to beat Valton with it. Let's do everything, right? Just beat the raid, all that stuff. When you are comfortable and have more tripods, you can do it afterwards. Wait, are you time to hunt? No. Do not go spec with Gunslinger. We have a first person that you need to buy to fix. I don't want to bash it in, but Gunslingers do not go spec early game. Let me tell you why Gunslingers go spec sometimes here. What is Gunslinger's job? You got to think about that first. Gunslinger job is what? You have 3 shotgun skills. You have 4 rifle skills, right? What does that mean? You have 7 skills going in rotation. When you use all of your shotgun skills and all of your rifle skills, what happens? You have to wait until it comes back in cooldown, right? That's why you go swift. You need the cooldown, and you need the skills to come back, and you need to not be in animation lock. And the minimum amount of swiftness you need is at least 500. The reason why you go spec is because spec does increase your damage to your guns. To your rifles, to your handguns, it gives you the more crit rate, and shotgun, it does more piercing damage, and rifle skills increasing damage. However, the more specs you have, there's a catch. You gotta have a level 10 gem. So if you don't have a level 10 gem, you don't go spec. That's why I only went 452. Because the cooldowns doesn't add up. The cooldowns needs to add up with the rotation to a point that you use spec to increase that just a little bit, min-maxing more. That's why they go spec, because their cooldown is good enough. But number one thing that all gunslingers need to do is they need to be quick. They can't be animation locked, right? They can't be animation locked, and their cooldowns needs to come back faster so that you can just keep rotating your guns. You saw me doing handgun and then do shotgun, handgun, and rifles. And if I wait like 1 or 2 more seconds, my shotgun comes back, and then I use shotgun, right? If you can't do that, your gunslinger is in shambles. You be aiming your gun, and then Valton smashes you in the head, you're gonna die. That's exactly what's going to happen. This needs to be on swiftness, and this needs to be crit. So gunslinger is crit swiftness when you're in early game. 800, yes, 800 is good. Or 500. 500 is also good. Rest of them being on crit is good. But if you think you're like, it's like, yeah, it's a lot, you can put just a little bit on specialization if you want. Just like 1 ring or something like that. I like your engravings though. I like it. But if you have level 3 adrenaline, your crit can be like 1100. 1100 to 1200. So instead of the Lost Wind Cliff set, just wear the HP set or the giant set. The decrease the defense, increase the defense. You can wear those too. You know, I personally, so the guys who are using Grudge on Gunslinger, right? I actually personally don't recommend it, because Gunslinger is a very, very squishy character. I don't want these Gunslingers to die every time and they get flamed all the time. But either way, if you think you're mechanically good, that's fine. It seems like you're enjoying the game, great. But again, this specialization, you will see, you'll go like, I've been playing Gunslinger the whole time. That's exactly you'll feel. If this 909 becomes like 24, this becomes 1100, and the rest being swiftness, you will play something else for sure. I can guarantee you that. Let's see, Paladin. Where's your swiftness? Mr. DBU, where's your swiftness, my friend? Number one most important thing. Combat stats. Swiftness. Most important. Most important. If you have two level 3 engravings and have decent swiftness, that's better. That's way better than having 3 engravings. Blacklist DBU. Don't blacklist him, guys. This is why that's why I told him to block your IDs if you guys want. It seems like you have a blue one. You have the run more Argos and get just work on the just work on the swiftness. Okay. The thing is, Paladin, you guys might not know, because having a support in a party is good already, because the skill itself is not gonna be impacted. The skill itself is still gonna be running really well. So you guys are gonna be like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know, it's actually like that, right? You as a user, if you get a lot of swiftness, you will see like, oh my god, Paladin is so fun. You know, like if Paladin is boring, you have less swiftness. I can tell you that. It's a work in progress. Great. I'm thankful that you actually shared this. To give you an advice on this. Work on your swiftness. Work on your swiftness on all of your accessories. All right, another sorceress. How many sorceresses do we have? We have a lot. Ooh, this is another all-out attack, huh? I think I understand why these guys keep sharing their builds, because they feel they're weak, and I know why they're exactly weak. Crit 1138 swiftness is pretty good, because this is an instant cast sorceress, right? Later on, when you guys get to play instant cast sorceresses, you guys are gonna have so much fun, because I know what you guys want. Just how you saw in my video, huh? Time for the Sorc video. But yeah, so here you can still play this. Don't worry about it. But you know, you gotta feel clunky. Just hang on. But if you get like a free stuff, you know, like a free engraving, all that stuff, you even have Reflux as legendary engraving. You are ready. You really want that Reflux sorceress. So if you actually go Precision Dagger, you can put more on swiftness. So in Korea, we kind of call that the Reflux instant cast hipster build, because it is so fast to a point that you just like spam everything. I think you want to play that. That's why you got this, huh? If you have Precision Dagger, you don't really need this much crit. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of mana problem because you don't have the Nightmare set. That's why. So okay, so yeah, it seems like you're gonna do that. Take it slow. Don't buy everything. This is good enough. This is good enough for Valton. Just hang on, and then whenever you reach like a different point, you get like relic accessories and all that stuff. Work on your swiftness a little bit, maybe like 1-to-1 for now, and work on your tripod. So those of you who are listening to my stream, if you want to play instant cast Reflux Sorceress, work on your tripods first. Spend most of your investments into tripods, the cooldown tripods, like all the skills. The reason why Reflux instant cast Sorceress is expensive is not because of engravings. It's because of tripods. They all need to be level 4. Paladin, 1380. Spec 472. 1358 swiftness, great. And your engraving, 3331, great. But this heavy armor, it can be something else. Paladins don't need heavy armor. They're a Giga Chat already. So I'd rather work on your awakening. Awakening is very important. So if you have awakening, expert, blessed aura, you're good to go for like the longest raid. Like as in like you can even go via Kiss Heart with that. Easy. Blade 1387. Crit 402. Spec 1394. Great. This is good. This is a solid 3333. I like it. I like it a lot. Your skill, your gems are good too. This is a solid build. Like I would have this. Like I would literally build it like this. Like if it was cheap. Yeah, this is good. Can't really comment on this. This is good. Like just level your gear, and if you reach 14, 15, you can go to Valton right away. If you reach 1445, you can go to Valten Hard right away. Now, your build is complete. It is up to you to be good at the game. And not die. Let me tell you guys the recommended crit rate, the swiftness for Berserker. It is 800. You need at least 800. Do you know why? If you transform, you get movement speed. Swiftness 800 is about 10 to 12%. Afterwards, if you get the buff from the support, it's 140% cap. You have the full efficiency of a Raid Captain. If you're a Mayhem Berserker, I suggest you guys to get at least 800 swiftness and rest on crit. So you have Grudge, Mayhem, Keen Blunt, and MP efficiency increase. Why do you have MP efficiency increase? You can have it if you want, actually. Because your mana, if you run out of mana, you actually do more damage. So you were thinking of like, oh, since I'm always running out of mana, Angan will do more damage with that. That's actually good. That's actually okay. I think that's fine. I'm actually scared that you went Grudge with Mayhem Berserker, because if Mayhem Berserker goes Grudge, what happens is you're almost equivalent as a Reaper. Instead of MP efficiency increase, I think you should go Masters of Tenacity, because so Mayhem Berserker is one of the best class in the game, and the reason why is because he has so many engraving choices. Master of Tenacity is a non-penalty engraving for Mayhem Berserker. You get a free 16% damage boost. So Cursed Doll is also a penalty-less engraving for Mayhem Berserker. This is why Mayhem Berserker is super OP. They can use Keen Blunt Weapon because they're gonna go high crit. They can also use Raid Captain because when they transform, their movement speed increases. You have 5 engravings already without Grudge. But in Korean meta, everyone wants to have, like, everyone needs Grudge. But if you go Cursed Doll instead of Grudge, that's only 4% difference. 4% difference with increased into much more tankiness, like, not gonna be like, if you don't die as much, I think that's better. Don't be focused, like, don't be FOMOing on level 7 gems. You don't really need level 7 gems. You can just have a full level 5 and still be okay. Another Sorceress. Ignition. Precision Dagger. With less crit. With specialization. Solid build. You're ready for, like, Valten. So, like, you don't have... The only thing I kind of complain about is you don't have Grudge. So, like, Adrenaline could be Grudge. But if you're scared of Grudge, that's fine. Magic Amplification, that's all good. Your tripods are very good. You're very solid tripod. I see it. They're all level 3. Great. This is where the true power comes from, man. Tripods are super important. You'll probably get a lot of MVPs if you land all your skills. And a solid level 5s. I think you have too many damage gems though. You want some cooldown gems. Yeah, I think Sorceress is 5 damage gems. It's like something like Ice Arrow. So you have Explosion, Doomsday, and Punishing Thunder, right? And then you choose 2 skills, and it's usually Ice Arrow and Frost Call, right? Or Esoteric Reaction. And rest of them is cooldown. The reason why it's cooldown is because your other skills are not there for damage. Your other skills are there to get identity gauge for your igniter. Does that make sense? Swiftness 1453, great. This is great. 1453 and 423 on spec. This is like definitely ready for Valten. The next engraving you should aim for is Expert for sure. I'm actually worried that people might like gatekeep you because of these two, but you need to tell them that this actually doesn't matter. Even if this is a defense reduction, it doesn't matter. It actually really, even this is a defense reduction level 2, it doesn't matter. And work on your cooldown gems on the rest of the skills. You're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're missing 2. Bard or Paladin, don't worry about damage gems, because like, let's say you do a damage gem, you're doing 10% out of like a 10% damage. Like, it's minuscule. Like, you don't need it. How do you have 2 Spirit Absorption but you have level 1 Spirit Absorption? I guess this is a different screenshot. Swiftness crit, great. Reflux, Precision Dagger. This is too much crit again. So this is too much crit. you can remove some of these crit into swiftness to move a little bit faster. Your gems are fine. Put it to level 5. Your crit is way too much. If you're still gonna play it like this, choose the one on the right, the one that increases crit damage. The tripod that increases the crit damage, not the one on the left. You have way too much crit to a point that the actual tripod on the left, right side for the Sorceress is more efficient for you. Can we get 10 more Sorc reviews? I mean, my viewers gave me their builds, right? And if most of them were Sorceress, you guys said that a lot. There are a lot of Sorceresses in the NA server, right? Can't really do much. This is why I went, yeah, another Sorceress, right? Whoever's playing a different build's gotta give me, their builds, right? Crit, specialization, and swiftness. However, is this the ignition? Why do you have supercharge? It doesn't work on Sorceresses. Maybe it's just an additional engraving. That's okay. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. It's a random engraving that he naturally got probably. So all out attack, reflux, adrenaline. That's good. You don't need, so for reflux you don't need specialization at all. So all these should be in swiftness, and your crit amount is just this, right? So if you put this 473, which is about 450-ish, into swiftness, you're going to have about 700 to 800 swiftness, which is good enough for a decent reflux casting sorceress. And you have adrenaline as well, so you're gonna be keeping that stack up with the teleports, with the blinks and stuff. Your gems are perfect. Your gems are perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Wow. First Shadowhunter. I would rather have Raid Captain instead of Hitmaster. And if you have Raid Captain and Spirit of Absorption, Raid Captain turns into a 17.35% damage engraving, because you get the movement speed from Spirit of Absorption, and if you transform, you get that extra percentage. Believe it or not, guys, the Shadowhunter is one of the strongest character for 14-15 in 4 engravings. Is because they're a transformation character, and if you have a Spirit of Absorption, Demonic Impulse, Raid Captain, and Grudge, they're one of the strongest character in the game, because they transfer very long, with their demon skill at level 7. And Spirit of Absorption plus the transformation makes it 135%. If you have 35 times 0.45, it'll be 15.75. So the engraving itself, your Raid Captain is going to give you 15.75% increase in damage. Another Sorceress, all out attack 2, adrenaline 2. So I think working on the all out attack is your primary goal. If Ignition Sorceress doesn't have all out attack, this is what's gonna happen. That's what they're gonna happen. They're gonna die. Okay? This is a Berserker, but I don't see your combat stat. Summoner Evolved Paladin build was really helpful. Total cost was 2,690 gold, 9 including graves, basically free because of the event. Didn't get the full raid because we're doing here. Cheers. This is a solid engraving for Mayhem Berserker. But Albert, Mayhem is level 1. Mayhem is actually really good at level 1 too. This is why Berserker is really good. The reason why Berserkers are OP is because they have so much versatility in choosing engravings. You can actually, mine is a level 1 Mayhem as well. Hey, we got an Artillerist. Finally, something else other than Sorceress. Oh, what language is this? Ni nivel de objeto equipado. Oh, Spanish. Nice. Critico. Critico. No, is it not? Yeah, Critico. So 1131 Critico and Rapidez on 713. Guys, I don't know any other language. I'm a boomer, man. I only know English and Korean and Japanese because I'm a weeb. Don't expect too much from me. Just tell me so I can learn from you guys. Yikes. Okay, so crit 1131 and Rapidez is 713. And Grudge, Rencor are not contude. Arn arma contundente cortante. Muñeca maldita. Majora de potencia de fuego. Engraving he read is Rencor. Rencor is grudge. Muñeca maledita is what? A cursed doll. Nice. You have a legendary Muñeca maledita. Why is it called? Yo, Rencor sounds like a Chad, dude. This sounds like savage. Fucking, yo, level 3 Rencor, man. Let's go. Fucking Rencor. Say the necromancy one? Okay, I'm not gonna try this. I'm not gonna say this. I'm not gonna try. No bueno. No. No, no bueno, no bueno, no bueno. Okay, so anyways, so you have level 5, solid level 5 gems. Good, good. Yeah, so these are good. You have the main skills. You have the Artillerist skills. You have this one. You have the turret. Nice, nice. You have the turret. Cool. Yo, it's solid. It's very solid. Very solid. Now you might think yourself, is my crit too high? It's not. It's not too high. It's enough. So the Artillerist is the highest crit rate is 1-to-1 ratio, which is 1,000 to 1,000. If you go relic accessories, in the 1-to-1 ratio, the maximum amount is about 1,100. So if you have a level about 1,100 with level 2 of fortified weapon, I think your crit rate is about 32 plus 40-ish. So it'd be like 70 already. So I think you can. This keen blunt is already like almost a 16%, 70%, 18% efficiency with grudge and cursed doll, because you should not be scared. This is a good choice because Artillerist is actually pretty tanky. If you use your energy field at the right time, you are very, very tanky. Stop saying Rancor, I can't stop laughing. What? Okay, so let me think about this. You have level 1 defense reduction as well? Having a bunch of level 1s is actually not efficient in this game. Having a level 3 is more efficient than having 4 level 1s. If you are working on a Sharpshooter build, don't try to get a loyal companion to level 1, because the reason why Sharpshooters do both class engraving sometimes is because they really don't have anything else to put in. So what's important for them is Sharpshooter lacks a lot of... Stop saying no Rancor. God damn it. So anyways, so Sharpshooter requires a lot of crit. Sharpshooter requires a lot of crit. The more crit he has with the keen blunt, he's more efficient. So you gotta put all that stat on crit, and you should put the rest of the stat on specialization. You can keep the Spirit of Sorcery because you're gonna be a little bit slower, but Sharpshooter. Okay, so the problem. So you guys know why Sharpshooters are a little bit underperforming in the late game, right? The reason why Sharpshooter is an underperforming class is because he needs to have crit, right? What does that mean? He needs to have a high crit rate to be viable. And if you have a high crit, where else would you put it? You need to put it on spec. You need to put it on swiftness, right? More spec that they have, they do more damage. So, then why don't I put more spec? Then you lack crit. And if you go crit spec, what happens? You have less swiftness. That means you're slow. So for an agile class, you have a fucking bow, but you're slow as fuck as a sharpshooter. You may find yourself your sharpshooter is fucking slow. It's actually built that way. He is still slow in the end game. All of my friends who play sharpshooter at the very end game, they complain that they're so fucking slow, but they have a fucking bow on. It's an agile class, but they're slow. When I say slow, almost slow like a Gunlancer. The reason why I'm only talking about DS build is because DS build is probably the only viable build. Because the double class engraving build also goes for high crit. Anyways, that being said, you may feel super weak with this character. you may feel super weak. Oh, I'm not doing damage. It's like I'm not critting. So what you need to do is you need to focus on your crit. Get rid of all this. Keen Blunt, Death Strike, and Hitmaster. All you need. A solid 3-3-3 with a lot of stats on crit and spec. Stop saying no, Rancor. Not enough critical. We have another spec Gunslinger. I've been looking for some accessory replacement to get rid of most of the specialization in quite a while now. I can't find the could destroy my engravings at the moment, so I just figured I should wait for Relaxers and fix it then. Yeah, that's good. Adrenaline and Hitmaster, huh? Wow, this is so solid, man. This is exactly what I had when I was 1445 in the Korean server. If you manage to have this engraving with a relic accessory, you're good. You're even good for Kakul Seidon, but Kakul Seidon kind of requires 5 3s. You know, this is still I beat Kakul Seidon with 4 3s and a 1, by the way. My friends were actually mad at me, but you know, it's still possible if you're good at the game. And since you have 2 legendary engravings, you're set for a while. So you have the good gems, 1 2 3 4 5, yeah. The skills. Let's see, look at the okay, yeah, your tripods are good. Just make sure to get these into a higher level. You don't go Final Strike if you have low swiftness, because what's going to happen is Final Strike fires it 4 times. Right? You're gonna die while doing that. Yeah, so it seems like you know what you're doing. Keep working on it and allocate specs to just lower as many specs as you can. Put it onto crit and then put it onto swiftness. Another Sork. Price is necklace 8k gold. How is this necklace 8k gold? What is the necklace? I wish I could click it. The gems are okay. Yeah, slowly work on the gems for level 5. Your crit 1400. I think you have too much crit, but you don't have a precision dagger and have Hitmaster instead. So I think this is okay. Make sure you don't have the right skills though. So if you wanna use Mana Shield, use it, but replace with something else other than the 3. The Punishing Strike, Doomsday, and Explosion. So if you want to use a Mana Shield, I would rather remove this Esoteric Blast. So there's another option too. Here, let me show you this. This is also in the video as well. Esoteric's too good though. Yeah, you can use it if you want, but or remove something else then. Explosion, don't remove Explosion. Explosion is one of the main DPS skills. This Hitmaster kind of sucks. If this was a 6, level 3 Hitmaster. Defense reduction with Grudge though, you might want to watch out because it might be very squishy. Oh, maybe that's why I have the Mana Shield on. That's smart. So if you use a shield, also at the same time, instead of Blaze, you also have a skill called Lightning Vortex. The Lightning Vortex is the same thing as a Blaze. It's the same synergy skill. But what the difference is if you get the middle tripod for level 2, this increases your movement speed by 3 seconds. So sometimes if you think you're slow, Lightning Vortex is a good choice. You got crit spec. You have Adrenaline. Adrenaline, Spirit Absorption, and Demonic Impulse. You have the gems, Demon Skill cooldown, and Demon Skill damage. Hope that Demon Skill damage gets to a level 7. So your build is not wrong, but it's not right at the same time. Adrenaline, if you go Adrenaline, you go Swiftness. Fucking rank. Oh my god. Anyways, so if you go crit and you go Adrenaline, that's what? Crit 470 is 17 plus 30 plus 15 on the Adrenaline, right? That's 62. And if you transform, Spirit of Distortion, you have 20 plus 15, which is 35. So you have 135% movement speed, and you have a 67 crit. That's so good. All you need is a Raid Captain and Keen Blunt, but you don't have it. So you basically if I say this in StarCraft, you basically got all the minerals for it, but you never built the barracks. If you want to go for a Hitmaster, if you want to go for the faster build, you remove Adrenaline and go Raid Captain. You remove, so if you want to keep the crit, you move Adrenaline and put Raid Captain. If you want to do it the backwards, you remove Spirit of Absorption and put Keen Blunt. A solid 3-3-3 Shadowhunter is Demonic Impulse, Spirit of Absorption, Raid Captain with a combat stat on crit, Demonic Impulse, Adrenaline, and Keen Blunt with a stat on Swift. Nice. So crit, and you have the Swiftness. That movement speed reduction though, you're slow as it is, and you're gonna be more slow. I think I would do that the Lightning Vortex trick. This is your synergy skill. Shoot. You can move a lot faster, right? And if you use your Mana Shield also has increases movement speed when it's active. 629 swiftness, it's not enough sometimes. It's not enough. Anyways, you have Reflux 3, Hitmaster, very good, very solid. All out attack, solid. Adrenaline, you gotta keep that adrenaline up to stack up every time. But you know, you gotta work on your to remove the penalty later. All out attack, Reflux at 9-9, very good. So your cooldown's good, you're decent, you'll be critting. I think you might lack a little bit of crit because you don't have like you have 1172. I think that's about what, like 40%, 30%. So, but you're not going Keen Blunt anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Spec Swiftness. You have a lot of swiftness, but I think you have no crit. But you have the Raid Captain though. That's nice, and you have the Adrenaline to back up your crit. Nice. That's good thought process. That's good theory crafting right here. Movement skill cooldown. Nice. You like that speed. So I think this is a solid build. I would still put specialization to crit and run one esoteric skill instead of two. Well, also the link says help please. You don't really need help. It seems solid. But the thing I would say is I would adjust the specialization into crit and then run one esoteric skill, which is the esoteric explosion skill. 1352, an actual newbie. Nice. So 1689 crit, 164 swiftness, so you're working on it. Level 3 Hitmaster, great. Peacemaker, good. Adrenaline 1, Spirit Absorption 1, Raid Captain 1, so you don't have any penalties, so this is good. So you're progressing through the game really well. So keep this into level 1, work on the level 3, and Spirit of Absorption to level 3 if you want, and you don't need Raid Captain. Gunslingers don't really need Raid Captain. Sorceress again. Crit. Domination. You gotta switch that domination into swiftness, my friend. And try to remove this defense reduction. Because you might be pretty, squishy. Know what I mean? But yeah, this is good too. Reflux. I hope the skills you're using are explosion, punishing strike, and I hope another one is doomsday. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorceress uses 5. 5 should be okay. Bard, 1455. Rancor. Oh. Remember the stream started as a interview, and the 6, my friend that has 6 bards, he said don't play DPS bard, and didn't he also said that it's not the DPS bards not doing the damage, it's actually the set bonus that the specific set bonus says. This specific set bonus says if you attack, you have a chance to summon a lightning. So the set summons a lightning, and it's going to attack the target for a chance. And if you get to 4, there is fire attack. There's a fire and a lightning attack that generates upon attack, like getting hit. It's like Lightning Fury. Yes, it's not like Lightning Fury. Also, at the 6th stat, what happens is, if you have the set bonus attack up to 30 times and last 20 seconds, You get a buff that lasts 20 seconds. You do 100% more damage on those lightning and the fire. DPS Bard's skill actually do so shit damage that the relic set does all the work for him. It's not the DPS Bard that is strong. The actual relic set is the stronger. So DPS Bard is only viable if you have the relic set. I think, well, I think it's good. I think it's good. Yeah, you can play. Questionable, man. But definitely, I would not play. But you know, everyone can play what they want. I'm not going to stop anyone playing. Them wanting to play their things. Crit, nice. But I think this is a little bit more, a little too much. Maybe a 1200 is good. Rancor, Hitmaster, Adrenaline. Oh, so since you have Adrenaline level 3, you can actually lower this even more. Maybe up to like 1200 and put more on Swiftness. Put more on Swiftness. You need some more Swiftness. You need some more gems. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. Good. Quick Step. Great. People who uses Quick Step enjoyers. Target down. Cooldown. Great. Perfect shot. Yep. This is a solid gunslinger. Now your problem is not dying. Just try to not die. Don't have to worry about any builds or anything. And that is complete. That's a lot of builds I reviewed, man. You play so this is like the first time I did it. I got your builds on ahead in advance. I reviewed most of them. I think I learned a little bit is I think I took too much of the same class. Maybe I can receive ahead of time and filter it myself and do it like a series. I think that's better because it's too long. We did review something really good about Sorks because I do. Okay, so I don't want to ignore the Sorks because if there's a lot of Sork users and if they want to enjoy the game, right? I want them to play properly, and if they feel that their build is wrong and worried, like it is technically if they're my viewers, it is my job to help them to build it properly. No Deadeye. Okay. Okay, like a speed round, but if there is a class that we haven't seen before, I will take a look. All right, these are the very last 3. Okay, I will do it again. I will do it again next time, guys. Don't worry. I'll do it again next time. All right, so we have a Soulfist. This is probably energy overflow because you have a crit and then you have a lot of swiftness. You have no specs, so energy overflow is correct. Grudge, raid captain, energy overflow, adrenaline. Attack speed reduction, that is fine. Attack speed reduction is fine. Adrenaline's okay because you're gonna put the additional crit there. Swiftness, we have level 3 energy overflow. This can be backwards too, by the way. It can be level 1 energy flow and it can be adrenaline 3. It can work that way as well. So keep working on your crit. I think you can lower the crit just a little more and going backwards and then have more swiftness, because energy overflow Soulfist is a little bit different. You need a lot of swiftness. You gotta rotate all those skills. You gotta rotate as fast as you can, because if you can't rotate skills as an energy overflow Soulfist, your energy is going to recover faster than you use them. So energy overflow does more damage the less spirit gauge you have. So having a lot of swiftness is very important. Striker. So this is one called the 1-1. So this is called the 1-1 the ratio. This is one of the ratios that actually strikers actually use. Because they lack a little bit of crit, and they put a little bit of specialization because they don't have wealth runes or tripods to back it up, the orb gains. And then you have rest on swiftness. This is more of a budget striker to actually rotate as many esoteric skills as you can. So you have adrenaline level 3 to back it up for your crit, and you have esoteric for your level 3. You have ambush master and keen blunt. You can actually use keen blunt because you have adrenaline level 3. So what is this? This is crit. So 464 crit is about 17% plus adrenaline, which is 15, right? Plus 18 plus back attack 10% is 60%. You're exactly at 60% to have keen blunt to be 16% efficiency. So in order for you to be more viable with this is well, your movement speed kind of iffy. More swiftness is good. More swiftness is good. And if you happen to get a lot of wealth runes, you have the tripods ready for, let's say, the Lightning Whisper. Lightning Whisper has a tripod for gaining more orbs, right? So this is a 4 esoteric, right? The Moon Flash Kick has like the gain. Sky Shattering Blow also has a gain. My striker video covers this, by the way. By lowering a little bit on specialization, on swiftness, and dividing it to crit, allocate them to crit and allocate them to swiftness is actually better than having just a bit of specialization, because the specialization's efficiency only works with Death Blow. Gunlancer. Trying to replace my neck to get crit instead of swift. Couldn't buy one at the time I built because it was 45k. What the fuck? A legendary accessory was 45k? Holy shit. We have a blue Chad Lancer, boys. Spec 1512. This is a real Chad right here. Gunlancer needs a lot of spec. A lot of spec. You gotta be gaining a lot of shields. However, you have a problem. I think your DPS is going to be very low. Why? Because you have swiftness, as you said, you wanted to change the crit, right? You need a little bit of crit. You don't have adrenaline. So your crit is very low. So you'll be doing like a wet noodle fight with the Valton. The damage will still be enough, by the way, because blue Gunlancer is pretty strong to begin with. So if I were you, I would quickly try to get maybe something like an adrenaline level 3 or level 2 adrenaline. That works as well, because Curse Doll, Grudge, it just gives you flat damage, but your crit is very lacking. So whenever you switch to crit on the necklace or whatever that you need, or even switch up some of your accessories to have, like, you can have just a little bit less spec, that's fine, and put it on crit. You want to crit as much as you can, because crit does a lot of damage. You have combat readiness level 1, that's good. I mean, you're totally fine for Valtim, and you get to 14-15, even if you don't change to crit to swiftness. Bash, Nalacia's Energy, and Shadow Hatred on cooldown. Great. And then you have your damage gems on the main skills. Guardian, Leap Attack, Shield Charge. Very good. All level 7. That's super strong. You can probably beat Valtim without any problems, for sure. You're not going to die for sure. If you die in a Valton fight, that is not a mechanic, the team is doing something very wrong, or either you are doing something very, very wrong. You should not die at all. Because let's say your shield runs out, you can just taunt again and then put your shield back up. I literally reviewed like 30 people, man. You gotta give me some time, dude. Hold on. Is it possible for you to take one last Deadeye, because almost no streamer made a class review for it? Okay, we will take a Deadeye. I will review a Deadeye for you. Deadeye needs some love. 1393 Deadeye. Crit, specialization, great. This is good. Deadeye is a class that goes high specialization. Why? Because it increases the damage of the shotgun damage and the efficiency and stuff. It is exactly the opposite to Gunslingers, by the way. Your gems are okay. So gem, just try to fill it up to all 5s. Don't try to get a 1 level 7. Try to get, so some of the cycle skillers, right? People who are cycling skills. Deadeye is a class that you have to cycle skills. You get level 5 gem on everything. Try to get a level 5 gem on everything. If not, get a level 4 on everything. If not, get a level 3 on everything. Getting everything to level 3, 4, 5 is more important than getting like a 1 level 7. Getting like a 1 level 7 is for someone like, the transformation characters like a Shadowhunter, or someone like who uses a small number of damage gems like Striker or Surgeblade. And Sorceress is in the same case as well. Sorceress, you want to focus your damage gems with Doomsday, Punishing Strike, and Explosion, correct? Let's look at engravings. Now, here's a catch. Enhanced Weapon, level 3, right? And if you have enhanced weapon level 3, what's going to happen is you have 425. So let's do the math real quick. Enhanced weapon level 3 gives you 30% increase in crit rate, right? So great that you didn't read the legendary enhanced weapon. I'm so glad that you didn't do that because I was scared that if you did. So if you do the calculation, 30% plus you have 425, so it's gonna be like 16 to 17%. 17 plus. And then you have 30% plus 17 plus 17% plus 10% on the back attack. Right? So you have 57% crit rate. You barely have enough crit for Keen Blunt, so you didn't go Keen Blunt. That's good. And since you are lacking swiftness, you went Spirit of Sorcerer. That's also great. Right? Now, yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. Crit debuff. So you have 67%. Sorry. Oh, you guys are much smarter than me. Thank you. I totally forgot about that. So you have 67% with the synergy as well. The reason why I'm not talking about Argo set is because you're gonna change it anyway. You guys are gonna change Argo set to the relic sets anyway. I'm calculating it with just engraving so that you guys know what you're aiming for in terms of engraving, combat stats, and tripods and stuff. So you work on your tripods. Now, here's the catch. If you want this to be more efficient, enhanced weapon level 1 is even better because enhanced weapon level 1 gives you 20%, but enhanced weapon level 3 gives you 30%, but you use 10 more nodes. What if you get level 2 adrenaline? If you get level 2 adrenaline, you get 10% in crit rate, which is exactly the same, but it also gives you about 4 to 6% more damage. A build that min-maxes a little more is 3, 3, 3, adrenaline level 2, and enhanced weapon level 1. That's even better. Enhanced weapon always should be level 1 most of the time. Some of the ones that goes level 3, they kind of go even more on specialization stuff. This is why sometimes another build is you go enhanced weapon and you go adrenaline level 3, and then you move the crit stat to swiftness too, kind of like the Shadowhunters. I'm not sure about Spirit of Absorption, but it still feels nice to. So Spirit of Absorption is good. Spirit of Absorption is a legitimate engraving for Deadeye because they're slow. Deadeye can't be slow. You need a little bit of speed. So your option is either Spirit of Absorption level 3 to move faster, or you go adrenaline and then you go swiftness instead of crit.